they're burning out.
Welcome back. If you're watching this video, you've probably seen some of my previous videos, but if not, welcome to the channel. My name is Chelsea. My husband and I moved up to North Idaho going on 2 years ago. We moved from Texas and we are building a custom home in North Idaho. So this series has been every step of our journey so far, everything from the loan process, all the things we've been through, the pre-build stage, and we have officially broken ground, and the next video will be a brand new phase. We're finally about to start framing. So I wanted to just do this video to catch everyone up to speed on where we're at so far. We've had a lot going on over the past month since the last video. Basically all the site development has been done, and I have some previous videos about that. We have started, or we've finished the foundation, so they've got all the site development. Foundation is done, which is what this video will be about. So stay to the end, see kind of where we're at so far. But we, over this past couple weeks, we've had water and electricity installed, so we are no longer off the grid. We officially have power and water. Site development, like I said, was done, and we have foundation. So our lumber is going to be dropped off this week. Today is June 28th and Monday, and Wednesday is supposed to be our drop-off day for the lumber, and they're scheduled to start framing on Thursday, so I'm so excited about that. But what I wanted to talk about in this video particularly is some of the issues we've been dealing with. Across the country, this is no probably surprise to anyone building, but costs have gone up significantly. The last video I talked about the lumber cost changes that we've had to take. So if you're new, we started this process over a year ago and closed on our loan last October, and we've had lots of issues getting to this point. So anyway, I talked about that in the last video with the lumber cost. We also, because of the site development and the grade of our slope, we're building on a mountain, that incurred quite a bit of additional cost because we're having to build decks now. So this is what's new over the last couple weeks. First, when they installed the sewer and the water lines, we have community water system, and we had to pay dues to our property owners association in order to connect to sewer and water. Well, long story short, as they were doing so, our association was unable to provide the exact location of where these water lines were, and they also did not provide, I believe it's called a stub out, which is how you connect to those water lines. And with that, they spent a lot of extra time trying to locate, and when I say they, our builder and excavator, they spent a lot of extra time trying to locate the water and sewer lines. They had to get additional parts, build a stub out in order to connect. So that incurred a lot of additional costs. We're looking at about an extra $10,000 on that, which that stung. You know, we've already incurred $33,000 lumber cost, another $15,000 for the deck, so now this. So it's like every step of the way there's been something come up week after week. Additionally, we've had to go back and basically make all of our selections all over again, and that's everything from flooring, cabinetry, countertops, tile, shower tile, backsplash, everything, windows. Over this past year with inflation, it has not been just lumber that has gone up in price. It has been everything. And so we're not made of money. Money doesn't grow on trees, unfortunately. So we're just trying to deal with these rising costs. So we're having to go back to the drawing board. We had already made all of our selections. There is a video about that, of all the shopping that we did for the house, which was really fun. But now we're kind of back to square one and reselecting everything. So on a positive note, over this past week, we've selected new floors. We were going to do concrete floors throughout the house. And just to touch on that, we live in North Idaho. It gets very cold here, and concrete floors, the only reason we wanted to do that was purely for looks. It really makes no sense for us to have concrete floors in this climate. They get very cold. The floors are very hard on your feet from people I've talked to. Stuff breaks easily, so it really actually makes no sense to do concrete other than I just like the look. So we kind of took a step back on that. We're going with an LVP, which is a luxury vinyl plank. They're very nice vinyl plank tiles. So we selected a new floor, and that shaved about $5,000. Again, right now we're at a point where we have to cut back in any area we can because the increases are just massive right now. So we're doing whatever we can to shave cost. But I really like the floors. I'll drop in a picture here and show you what kind of floors we're gonna do. So that was one area. Another area that we just kind of finished up today, actually, I just got the quote back. We're completely changing the siding of our house, so exterior siding. So originally we were going to be doing a cedar, like a cedar lap siding, and do stone around the house, like a wainscoting stone around the whole house. So it was going to be all cedar and stone. Lumber, again, has gone up so much, so the cedar siding has gone up tremendously, stone's gone up, and so we revisited that, and we're actually really happy with what we're going to do. It's going to be a mix of different materials. We are still going to have several accent walls and sections of the house that are going to be cedar, but we're also bringing in some like hardboard siding, as well as a metal wall, accent wall, which I think will be pretty cool, and then we're still doing some accent stone. And I think actually overall, we're gonna like it better. It's a little more contemporary, but we're still getting some of the mix of the wood and the stone with those natural elements to get the mountain contemporary look that we are going for. So all in all, that saved about $7,100, which was fantastic. And then let's see, cabinets, we're going with a different grade quality of cabinets. They're still gonna be really nice, but actually we ended up changing the look completely in the kitchen of what we had started with. I don't want to go into too much detail because I want to leave some room for surprise, but we're going to go with a painted color cabinets, and we're still going to in the kitchen, and then we're still going to be doing a couple different countertop materials, and then our bathrooms are going to be a wood stain. So overall, we still got a few things. Each week we're kind of revisiting certain selections to, you know, try to save some costs here and there where we can. I found some really cool new lighting fixtures that I think actually like a lot better than what we had originally selected. So that, you know, every few hundred and few $1,000s we can shave. Hopefully our goal is to keep the original cost of our contract of what we had last year, to try to get it back down to that number, because you know right now we're well over like 20-30% higher than what prices were a year ago. So that's what we've been dealing with, and in this video, like I said, I'm going to show you some footage of the house, of where it's at right now with all the site development, the frame, or excuse me, the foundation. And then the next video you see, we will officially have framing up, and then I think that's really a big turning point to see the house actually come to life, start seeing walls up, and it's about to get really, really exciting. So we will, I'll drop in the footage now, and then we'll see you on the next video. If you are new, please consider subscribing. A lot of good information about building a custom home, building in North Idaho, some of the issues we've had to deal with throughout this whole process. So hope you enjoy. See you later. Well, today's Saturday, May 8th, and they did quite a bit of work, as you can tell, over this week. So they started on the framing for the footings, and they got in a lot of rebar. On the trailer over there, they've got these big pieces of wood, which I'm guessing is going to be the walls that are going to go around the framing of the house to pour the concrete for the foundation. And I believe that's what they are going to be working on this week, is getting all the concrete poured. But it's coming together. It looks really cool. You can actually see the outline better on the house. Our plans on paper, we just had a set of 2D plans, two-dimensional, And so we didn't get one of the, you know, large 3D renderings of the plans to really get a good look for what the front of the house is going to be like with all the different indentions and the shape of the front of the house. So that's pretty cool to see. And our friend came out last night, and I'm going to insert some footage here. He has a drone, so shout out to our buddy Cordell for shooting some drone footage for us. So I'm going to insert that here of the house, and you can see like an aerial view. Okay, here we are, May 14th. They've got the footings done. There's all the concrete footings, so that's the first portion of the foundation that was poured. And then now they've got these sidewalls with these plywood boards, and they're gonna come out, I think, starting Monday and start pouring concrete and finish the foundation next week. Here's the footings for our deck. It's got these big old concrete footings. I don't think this house will be going anywhere. Yeah. So another thing that happened this week is we got our pedestal installed. The next step is the state inspector has to come and inspect the pedestal and approve that, and then the electric company will be able to come in and tie into the transformer. That is a fancy breaker box. Every house I've ever had has been old breaker boxes that are ancient. I feel fancy. Today is May 22nd, and our foundation is officially done. They poured the concrete on all the stem walls here, and looks like also they've finished the vents around the foundation, and they've already removed all of the I guess the framing, whatever, the wood to hold the concrete. We finally figured out how this whole foundation thing works. So at first we know that the ground level of the house is going to be level going across here. And so we were curious if they were going to be adding more framing and then doing like higher concrete walls on this side of the house, which is not the case. So what will happen, the concrete that you see up there, and then as it comes this way, what they'll do is just build up the framing higher on this end. And so basically from wherever the floor level is in here, all that's going to be framed out on the sides, and then that's the open basement area here, and then it'll just be open with a little bit shorter walls as it goes into the crawl space. At first the superintendent said that there might be a short, or that there was a shortage on concrete, and several other people have been saying that also, and we were a little concerned about that. But then we got an update in our Builder Trend app, which is where they upload, you know, all the updates and pictures, things like that, of the progress so far, and we saw that the concrete was done and poured much sooner than we expected. So we really did not have any delays on concrete, so that was very exciting that we've just been able to stay on track. And so we are still on schedule. And let's see what these are. Oh yeah, they got these poured here. So I guess what they'll do on this deck is have the framing coming up on from these little concrete poles or posts, whatever you want to call those. All of this dirt is also going to have to come in, and they're going to do backfill, so they'll be filling in all this area where the dirt was removed. And from what we can tell, so here is the back left corner, and the top of this wall right here is the floor level. So obviously we're going to have our deck that's elevated, but they're probably going to have to bring in quite a bit of dirt to build this up, and then just grade that out across this whole area. And then same thing in the front. Let me walk around that way. So here's all the dirt in the front of the house, and they're gonna have to bring quite a bit of dirt here and do the same thing, bring that out, and then just you know, level that out across here. And then of course we'll still be walking downhill to go around the corner to get into the basement. Okay, it's Memorial Weekend and they have been out here working on the backfill. They've gotten a lot done already. Obviously still quite a bit of dirt to move, but you can see now, like originally there was this, whatever was dug out here. So they filled that in. This is the waterproofing they did. I don't know if it was painted or sprayed, but that goes all the way around the foundation. And then they've put in all these drain pipes for the foundation, and it looks like it wraps around, let's see, over here. Here we go. So there's the drain pipe, and then they just have that going down the hill so that way our basement doesn't flood. And they've got that covered up, so they're gonna be working on some more backfill, I think finishing that up today. So now they're wanting to take more trees out, which I'm not happy about, but I do kind of understand. I'm going to check it out. He's suggesting to take these little guys out because they're somewhat close to the house. I mean, they are small and healthy, and if they blow, most likely the windstorm is going to be blowing that way, but decision time. So it's Wednesday, June 2nd. We just got out to the property. We couldn't even wait till this weekend. We wanted to come see what they did. And the backfill is pretty much done. My gosh, it looks completely different out here. It looks like they've still got a little bit more work to do with a couple of the remaining dirt piles, but they took down those trees, the 5 that were originally planned over here, and then they also ended up taking this corner one right here, and then a couple back there. So it just, wow, like there's so much more space up here than I ever thought there would be. So they filled in all these spaces here around the stem walls. So here what they're doing, this is like a thick styrofoam barrier, and it's just for some extra insulation for frost down here in the basement. We got a lot of yard work to do. I wish that you could smell through the camera because, oh my goodness, this pile smells so good. Just like Christmas. I wanted to show y'all too, so this is where the driveway, whenever that happens, will be coming up across the front of this hill from way down there, and then come up at a diagonal, and it'll turn here or somewhere in here. And then the driveway will continue up this way. And then you've got the, well, it's behind here, but then you've got the front door just on the other side of these little piles. So we definitely have plenty of room for parking. So that's good. And then I think what our future plan is to do a shop and maybe a carport on that side. And the electric company just called us today, or emailed us today, and said that they are coming out next Tuesday to hook up all of the electricity. So we'll have power out here next week. So that's pretty exciting. Wow! Just pulled up to the property to camp for the weekend, and our boulders are here. Those are for our retaining walls, and I'm stoked. Wow! These are huge. So just for scale, these are huge. So they've gotten us a very big yard, which makes me extremely happy. We didn't think we were gonna get much of a yard because, you know, we're up on this hill, but golly, they've leveled this out a lot. I think they've still got a little more leveling to do, but compared to what it was before, like this is just so much more space. And like even on this side, it looks like we're gonna have, you know, some yard area there. So many activities. We're gonna be living in a big dust bowl for a while though. Whew. Lots of dirt. Be excited when we can get grass one day. And then here are the boulders that are going to be a retaining wall on this side. This is the side utility door right here. So those other boulders are gonna make a retaining wall here. So more dirt's gonna get filled in here. There'll be another rock wall here, and then the patio for my mother-in-law's apartment will be right here. So there'll be like a drop down, and then you get into the yard area. And they said anything left we can just use for landscaping. So sweet. The color of these are actually perfect with our house colors because we're doing a lot of like natural brown tones and gray. So that'll look really good. So they've already run the utility line all the way here. And that's already covered up, but you can see it come out right here. And then they're gonna be running the power here next week on Tuesday. Lots of big things happening this week. We officially have power and we have water. So we are about to do our very first test, and we're out here camping for the weekend. Got the van behind us, and so we're about to plug the van in and test the power. Here we go. Lights on. We are no longer off the grid. The second big thing is we have water. Check it out. So here's our septic. They've got those lines in the ground. And then here's our tank. So I didn't realize we would actually have, oh, and it goes off down that side of the hill. I actually forgotten that we were gonna have a septic tank because I just assumed since we're connecting to the community, you know, water and sewer out here, then, you know, why do we need a septic tank? But, oh, let me go this way. But we do. I guess you have a combination of both. And then the last kind of big thing that we've gotten done, they've done a ton of more leveling. As you can see, here we're in the backyard and they've leveled this out some more. But they've got all these basalt rocks up for this retaining wall. So here we are in the back of the house, and then my mother-in-law's apartment's right here in her patio. So she'll have a patio with a rail, and then we had to do this retaining wall, and then this will be the yard. And then we've got some extra rock over here, which I don't know if this is just here for now or if it needs to be here for some additional like retaining wall. So not too sure about that, but we are basically at a point we're ready to start framing. We're a couple weeks behind schedule because the framers are on another job right now, but our lumber is getting dropped off next week, should be next week, and then the following week they'll be framing.